Good morning, boys and girls. Today is Friday, April 10th, and I have one of my favorite stories to read to you this morning. It's called After the Fall, How Humpty Dumpty Got Back Up Again, written by Santat. Okay, let's read to find out, how did Humpty Dumpty get back up again? All right, my name is Humpty Dumpty. This was my favorite spot, high up on the wall. I know it's an odd place for an egg to be, but I loved being close to the birds. Then one day I fell. I'm sort of famous for it. Folks called it the Great Fall, which sounds a little grand. It was just an accident, but it changed my life. Who knows the Humpty Dumpty song? Does anyone know the Humpty Dumpty song? Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty back together again. Fortunately, all the king's men managed to put me back together. Well, most of me. There were some parts that couldn't be held with bandages and glue. After that day, I became afraid of heights. Oh, poor Humpty. I was so scared that it kept me from enjoying some of my favorite things. Oh man, what can't he get? What's one of his favorite things? Man, I bet you he likes the cereals on the top, and he's too afraid to go up and grab them. I walked past the wall every day, and I would think about climbing that ladder again. I really missed the birds and being high above the city, but I could never do it because I knew that accidents can happen. I eventually settled for watching the birds from the ground. It wasn't the same, but it was better than nothing. Then one day, an idea flew by. Do you see the idea, boys and girls? What's the idea? Look at that picture. What is the idea? Making planes was harder than I thought. It was easy to get cuts and scrapes, but day after day I kept trying and trying. Oh man, he's trying to make a paper airplane. Have you ever tried to make a paper airplane? Pretty tricky. Until I got it just right. My plane was perfect, and it flew like nothing could stop it. I hadn't felt that happy in a long time. It wasn't the same as being in the sky with the birds, but it was close enough. Unfortunately, accidents happen. Oh no. What do you think happened, boys and girls? What do you think happened to Humpty Dumpty's airplane? They always do. I almost walked away, but then I thought about all the time I'd spent working on my plane and all the other things I'd missed. I decided I was going to climb that wall. But the higher I got, the more nervous I felt. I didn't want to admit it. I was terrified. Oh my gosh, if you're terrified, that means you're really scared and really nervous. I didn't look up. I didn't look down. I just kept climbing one step at a time. Just keep climbing. Until I was no longer afraid. Maybe now you won't think of me as that egg who was famous for falling. Crack, crack. Hopefully you'll remember me as the egg who got back up. Oh my goodness, what's happening, boys and girls? What's happening? All right. Thank you so much for listening to this story. It's one of my favorites. Remember, life begins when you get back up. All right. I love you so much. Wash your hands. Have a great weekend. All right. Love you. Bye.